You're inside a small, cramped nest on the edge of a tall tree. It's not the most glamorous start to your life, but hey, it's comfortable. You're still a baby, eyes squinting in the sunlight, and you're surrounded by your siblings, all loud, all hungry, all demanding food. The world outside is big and terrifying, but it's going to get even crazier. Trust me. Congratulations, you've just hatched, and already things are chaotic. You're covered in a mix of fluff and downy feathers, looking like a little puffball, but that won't last long. Within hours, your parents are already flying around, getting busy, doing what birds do best, scavenging for food. And guess what? You're not even in the top 5 priorities. It's all about finding food, fight with siblings, and let's be real, being cute enough to survive. You're already making noise. That's your primary skill for now. The louder you are, the more attention you get, and more importantly, the better chance you have at getting food. Your dad's pretty good at finding scraps, and you're about to experience something unpleasant. Food, not what you expect. Oh, what's that? Your dad is here, regurgitating some half-digested mushy food. Don't worry, it's gross, but it's what you get. It's your first taste of the world. Chewing isn't really an option. You will get used to it. Your survival depends on it. And now, the fun part begins, sibling fights. Oh yes, there's a sibling, a nestmate, and every meal is a battle. You might be the louder one, but your sibling has sharp talons. Let the fight begin. Your parents, who should be helping you out, are just watching like it's a reality TV show. They couldn't care less if you win or lose, as long as they don't have to get involved. The fight is real, and there's no mercy. At this stage, you'll do anything to win, even if it means pecking, shoving, and flapping wildly like a tiny tornado. Survival of the fittest, or the loudest. You finally win, because you're a champion, and you get that disgusting meal. Fast forward a month or so. You're starting to look less like a puffball, and more like, well, a crow. Feathers are coming in, sleek and black, giving you that classic, too cool for this vibe. You've grown, but you're still figuring things out. Oh, wait, that's right. Time to start your first lesson. Learning to fly. You might not be thrilled about it, but it's gotta happen. You're standing on the edge of the tree, and the world below looks terrifying. Your parents, they're chill, just waiting for you to jump. They're probably even betting on whether you'll fly or splat. Your wings feel awkward. You flap them, and, well, let's just say you fall. The world spins. You hit the ground, but somehow, you're alive. Don't worry, this isn't the last time you'll hit the ground. You'll be doing this a lot more. You try again, and again, and again. It's like an intense fitness rule, except there's no reward for progress. It's just constant failure, followed by tiny wins, but you'll get it eventually. Maybe. Okay, now you're flying. You can make it from branch to branch with some effort, but you've got one problem: hunting. Crows aren't exactly born with "I'm the world's greatest hunter" skills. That takes time. At first, you're still reliant on your parents. But let's be real, they're done with you. They've got their own lives, their own nests, and their own food to scavenge. Your next meal is your responsibility. Oh joy, the world is full of people eating food they don't even notice is precious. You're hunting for scraps, dealing with humans tossing out garbage, or chasing down small critters. It's not glamorous, but it's your reality. You're lucky if you get a good meal. If you don't, starvation is a real threat. And here's something shocking. You're not the only crow out there. There are other crows, and they are very territorial. They'll fight for scraps. You'll fight. It's not just about survival. It's about winning at any cost. Around the age of 1, things start to change. You're not a baby anymore. You've grown, you've learned, and now it's time to strike out on your own. No more relying on your parents for food or protection. It's time to carve out your place in this chaotic, crow-filled world. So, you start looking for your own territory, your own little slice of safety. You fly over the city, scanning for a nice, quiet spot to land. Maybe a private park, a rooftop, or a forgotten alley. But every good spot seems to already be taken by a family of crows who are just as territorial as you are. It's frustrating, but that's the reality. Eventually, you find a place, a patch of a tree. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's yours, for now. The problem is, keeping it is an entirely different battle. Solo life also comes with its share of emotional challenges. You might try to join a group of other crows, but not all groups are welcoming. Sometimes they'll drive you away, pecking at you until you leave. Other times, they might tolerate your presence, but you're always on the outside, never fully accepted. It's a lonely existence, but you keep going. You have no choice. As the days turn into weeks, and the weeks into months, you learn to stand your ground. You fight off intruders with sharp beak and claw. You become an expert at spotting danger, whether it's a hawk circling above or a human with a suspicious object in hand. You also learn to outsmart your competitors. You memorize the best food spots, learn which dumpsters are emptied on which days, and figure out which humans are likely to leave crumbs behind. Your intelligence becomes your greatest weapon. So now you're a bit older, and it's mating season. This is it. You've found a mate, but before you start building your family, let me tell you, it's not as romantic as it sounds. Crows take relationships seriously, but they're also pragmatic. You and your mate didn't just pair up because of love. It's more like a strategic partnership. You both assessed each other's skills. Can this crow defend the nest? Can they scavenge for food? Are they reliable? If the answer was yes, congratulations. You're now a team. Now comes the next big task, building your nest. And let me tell you, this isn't some quick weekend project. It's serious business. Your mate expects you to pitch in, so you set off to gather supplies, sticks, twigs, leaves. You grab anything you think might work. Sometimes you even snag a piece of wire or a scrap of cloth because it looks useful. Humans might laugh when they see a crow carrying something shiny, but for you, it's all about finding the perfect materials. Every little thing has a purpose. Back at the building site, it's a lot of trial and error. You place a stick here, adjust a twig there, then step back to see if it holds. Your mate, oh, she got opinions. She squawk and you squawk back. That's it. Turns out, even crows can have a good old-fashioned domestic argument. The nest needs to be just right, sturdy enough to survive wind and rain, soft enough for eggs, and high enough to keep predators away. And it's hard work. Your wings are sore, your beak is tired, and honestly, you're kind of over it. But when it's finally done, when you look at that little creation, you feel proud. It's not just a pile of sticks. It's home, a place for your future family. And after all that effort, you can finally take a breather, at least until the next challenge comes along. Well, it's not all that fun. In fact, it's a lot of work. Crows don't just sit around waiting for food. You and your mate take turns hunting for meals and keeping the eggs warm. And let me tell you, it's exhausting. Sometimes your mate gets distracted, or maybe they're just not as into parenting as you are, leaving you to do more than your fair share. But somehow, you manage. The babies grow fast, and before you know it, they're fledging, testing their wings for the first time. Watching them hop out of the nest and take to the skies fills you with pride and maybe a little relief. For a brief moment, life feels lighter. Some days, you soar high above the city, feeling untouchable, free as the wind. Eventually, you grow older. Your feathers aren't as shiny as they used to be, and your wings don't feel quite as strong. But you've lived a full life, one of survival, family, and countless stories. You've outsmarted predators, raised your chicks, and carved out a place in a world that's never made things easy for you. And one day, as you perch on a high branch, watching the sun dip below the horizon, you take one last look at the land you've called home, the trees you've soared over, and the skies you've ruled. Your body, worn from years of survival, finally gives in. Your eyes close, and your tired wings fall.